He's a writer, he's a producer, he's a certified black artist. I want to introduce you guys to P-Moe.
It's so good when you're smoking that funk, and you know it got a nigga laid back. Off top, I'm from Aurora, Illinois, outside of Chicago, western suburb. You know, came up in the church. To be honest with you, mom and dad had a great influence on me as far as with playing those things that was enlightening to my ear as a youngster. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
growing up on that Motown sound and things of that nature, hearing all the Walter Hawkins singers and all that going on as growing up, listening to John P. Key and things of that nature. So I was grounded,
Right.
definitely grounded within the realms of this music thing. It all started at home, though, to be honest with you. Church, home, I got producers and writers that I've been dealing with for, 15, 20 years plus, that I helped get certified platinum in the game, helped get, a lot of things situated for them with their career. And we're still vibing and grooving together right now as we speak. So it's like, me pushing them to platinum success, that says something about myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not just me being a platinum cat. My whole squad is basically, filled with a lot of platinum situations.
Exactly. No, I get that.
Yeah, you got to build your team up. When you build your team up, it comes from the head. So if the head is doing it a certain way, you want to make sure that everything that comes up under you is on that same level and doing it, just as well.
What period of your career would you consider sort of like your big break, like the point that changed everything, let you know that, okay, I'm on the right page?
I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to that, it goes to my background and the people that I actually came up with in the music industry.
Okay.
Like when a good buddy of mine grew up with Carl Thomas. When Carl Thomas actually, when that happened, when you turned the radio on, you heard "I Wish" on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I knew it was real. You know what I mean? Like you go through the ups and downs, you struggle. You may miss some meals, you may miss some sleep. You might not be able to, pick up the phone and call somebody to get that help because you're so adamant about what you're trying to do. And, your heart is a certain way, so you want to keep that going. So it's like when you finally get that break and you see a little, air in the window,
mm-hmm.
Like, damn, it's real. It can actually happen. So it really all started with Carl Thomas being the first one from my city to actually make it. And I happen to be involved with him in a lot of different ways. I happen to see his actual,
process,
his journey,
his
journey and process.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of helped me within myself. So we always doing things together musically, coming up. So like I said, we get one that comes out the batch, it's real.
Right. Is it because it's always a good feeling to like see your peers, people that went through the same type of things you did and they made it, and you're like looking and like, okay, that is a motivational for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then it opens up more doors, like me being around the Bad Boy family, things of that nature, seeing Puff before Puff actually took off. I mean, so I've been around. So, you get those teachings and you actually get that free education by being in them certain places, by being around the right people.
Right type of circle. Right.
Yeah, you got to put yourself in that circle. I mean, like, even me being down in Atlanta right now, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been coming to Atlanta since Freaknik. So, I'm telling my age, but at the same time, it was a culture.
Right.
It was a culture that was going on. So I was a culture chaser, meaning I went to New York at a young age, and Carl Thomas was in New York, situating his deal with this cat by the name of Troy Taylor.
Okay.
Troy Taylor is, big time mega producer out here. He responsible for bringing Trey Songz in the game. So it's like me being around the humble beginnings of that. You know what I mean? It's like, what do I do? There's so many different avenues other than what I started with. So the door opened up completely wide with the music industry, because it started out, cats trying to sing. Now all of a sudden, cats can go out and write records for people. Now you find out there's other ways of getting, monetary funds.
Right.
And it's not just, okay, I want to be an artist. There's more to it. And a lot of cats don't see that until they actually get into the game. So the education that I caught was real. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I mean that aspect is quite important, because you can. I am I can say I'm that person where I came into what I do just being a street team member, and then elevating to now being involved with the background stuff, to then dealing with managing artists. And then, it just kept going and going. Now I'm throwing my own shows, and now I'm here. So it just kept going, because once you're around that network, that group, you start like really thinking like, wow, wait a minute, this is way bigger than what I thought it was. And you get hooked on it.
And when you're not around it,
yeah.
when you're not around it, it's like, I need to get back around it, because it's like a drug that I took a long time ago.
Exactly.
I needed to get back to that scene to feel that extra, that feeling, that punch in my veins.
Right,
yeah.
Right. It's a different kind of feeling. Yeah. So even when you think, okay, I'm done, you're going to be pulled right back into it, and it's just, it's home. So I get it. I get it completely.
Yeah, it's a different type of vaccination that I took a long time ago that I'm hooked on. So
right.
That's where I'm at with it right now. But at the same time, it's like, moving forward, it's like, how do you take it to the next level when you got all these youngsters? You got the young cats out here doing things that's totally different from where I started. You got cats that, the mental aspect of it is crazy, because their minds move quicker than what our minds move when we was doing this. So they got this extra technology. So it's like it's a cheat code. I call it a cheat code. Right. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get a hold of this cheat code that these youngins be, moving and pushing. I'm trying to figure out how they doing it. So
you're right.
By me coming up in a different era,
right.
I got to adapt to what they're doing. And at the same time, it's like, I've even came back around. I started out doing R&B music back in, I would say, 1997, when I had a situation with Quest Records.
Okay.
I had that situation, and that got me in tune with the West Coast real heavy, because I was out on the West Coast doing some things. And, I caught a management situation, because I did a show. And I actually did a show. And the funny thing is, I did the show with my brothers. I brought them out. They had a group called Trez. I brought them out that I was, co-managing at the time. And I felt they was it. So what I did, I brought them to LA, and we did a showcase. And it was a cat by the name of Afro Man that nobody knew of.
Okay.
And we actually was in a showcase with Afro Man. And I was like, yo, this cat here is real different. And I'm not really into him, but there's something about this cat. You know what I mean? He had the whole little identity thing going with the Afro. So I was like, okay, he's definitely marketing himself. He's branding himself right now. But now when you look at that song that he did, Because I Got High.
Yeah.
And it's one of those songs that at this point in time, let's be real, it's a big record. And it's a big record, and I didn't think he was gonna blow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, yo, I don't know what this is. Next thing I know, I was like, yo, I was sharing the stage with that cat. So it's like I moved around a lot. I moved around. So I got a chance to experience different things, but I got caught up in a actual 1999, around that time I was gonna put out my first little album. And I actually got caught up in a merge, Sequels and Polygram merge, and that's somewhat killed my situation.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was like me putting my trust into everything that was going on. So that was like a sour point, in my career, because I put everything into that, and I, thought everything was gonna go the way it was supposed to, and it didn't.
Right.
So I lost all my situations that was on the table and had to, start over. So what I ended up doing, saying, no, look, I'm going to start over myself and do it myself, just for the simple fact that I don't trust nobody, because, I put all my heart and soul and all my time into something, and it went left. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start, managing producers, managing artists, and putting them in that situation where they know it's real, because I've been through the ups and the downs and the bad parts of it. So I want to get a team and more or less clean it up and let them come through in a way where, I know that this ain't right over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know this ain't right. So I'm going to make sure that my team know this ain't right over here. So you got to have those, in your corner that actually been through it in order for you to go through it. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, life is moving. And I would say, 22 years later, that's right, I'm telling my age. 20 years later, I'm back doing it again after I've done some things with my producers and writers and got them situated. So now we're able to do things on a different level with me, because it's technology and things of this nature. So I got a producer by the name of Michael Snoddy. You know, he done some things for Puff, done some things for Jamie Foxx. The list goes on and on. I can talk all day about this guy, but he's been putting a lot of work, and he's a guy that I started out with. So we made a bet that I couldn't come back. I said, because I got all these cats that write these records, and they ain't moving fast enough. I said, man, I can move faster than them, and I ain't even in the studio, and I ain't doing no work. So basically, it was a bet, and that bet ended up being a single, and that single ended up being an EP. Now I'm working on that album, all off of a bet. So I gotta, make sure that I clear that bet. So right now, I'm being pushed to the limit, trying to see exactly what I can do as an artist again. Business owner, all that too. So right now I'm coming back out as an artist. A lot of my music is geared towards the West Coast. I got a few singles out right now. A single called Say Less, a single called Moving Around, and also a single called Feel So Good.
I like that one. Yeah. I like
that.
Those, yeah. The vibe is cool.
I mean, the vibe. I mean, so right now we missing the vibe. Yeah. Everybody's looking for that vibe. And I ain't gonna take nothing from the youngins. They so caught up into it to the point to where they're needing something like the music I'm putting out because they respect that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're those are the ones that's pushing me too. Like the youngsters are pushing my son, my daughter, they pushing me. So when you get them that like your music, you know what's something there. So I was just playing around. All of a sudden now I got serious. So now I gotta push it a little further. And like I said, with you in this interview is helping this movement that I'm putting together right now with my company, Angel Berry Publishing.
Yes, talk about that more. So talk about your publishing company, because the name, how you came up with it, it's kind of interesting story behind that, what it's inspired by. Tell me about like what you offering to the table, like, because what makes you stand apart.
Got you. Well, Angel Berry is special to me because I had two special people in my life that was along with me for my journey. You know what I'm saying? I had one cat by the name of Charles Berry. Charles Berry is actually one of my father's best friends. Became a mentor. He was moving and grooving. He was dealing with staple singers and things like that. So he knew about the business, but he also knew how to talk corporate, and I didn't know how to talk corporate, so I needed a cat like that in my bag. And Angel was a good friend of mine, songwriter, artist, all that. Ended up getting killed back in the day, back in 2008. And like I say, he was a cat that I always knew that would be great, but streets will take you somewhere that you ain't trying to go, and you come up missing like that. So he was a big part of my situation. So therefore, I feel like I should name my company Angel Berry Publishing. Angel Berry Music, Angel Berry Clothing, Angel Berry. I mean, it's a nice name for a crazy brand of marketing.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'm giving homage to my people that actually, took the time out to help me through those years. You know what I mean? So that's really where the Angel Berry Publishing comes from. The name. That's the reason behind the name. It's two cats that was in my life that meant more than anything to me while taking this journey in this music industry. So yeah, now I'm out here by myself per se, but I got a team that I'm still working with. But sometimes you got to regroup. And you get that next breath of air. And right now, I got that breath of air right now. And I feel like, some things I needed, sound-wise. And it has to be the right individual to actually put it out there to where it can be respected. I'm going to be 50 in November. That's when I'm going to actually try to drop, my album.
Nice.
On my 50th birthday. Yeah, so I mean, everybody got to have that point in their life where they got to have something that they're grasping for, and I'm grasping for that album to drop on my 50th birthday just so it could be real special.
Okay. So your birthday November. What's the date? November what?
Nope. November 10th. So around that time, I should be dropping an album around the 10th or whatever available date that they got for me around there to make it all happen like I want it to happen. I mean, you got to have a plan.
Right,
So
you do.
I'm rocking with the plan right now. So album is going to be called From the Streets to the Sheets.
Okay.
From the streets to the sheets. Yeah. So, you know, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm excited about it because the team of producers I got with me is crazy. Like I got this cat by the name of we call him J Dub. J Dub is one of the hitmen from Puff's Bad Boys camp. So he did a lot of stuff for Aaliyah. He did a lot of stuff for Faith. So by him even, coming my direction, I knew it was God sent. So right now we're working on some things. So this album is going to be a little bit different than what I even expected because I didn't know, who would grasp on to my vibe. So I got J Dub, I got Michael Snoddy. I've been dealing with my female producer friend, engineer by the name of Toby Meeks. She's from out of Aurora, also grew up with me, family, and all that. So we've been together, everybody around me is more or less a family thing. We've been together for 20 plus, 30 years. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's like this bet has turned into something that's going to be dope at the end because you now like teaming up with like all these heavy hitters and you about to make something dope just based on the bet. That's crazy.
I mean, based on the bet, but also it's all about relationships. So if you keep your relationships a certain way, people don't have no issues or no problems coming into your area to work with you, as long as you got something to offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have something to offer.
Okay.
And I didn't. You got to think about it. I'm coming behind my man Carl Thomas, and he's one of the best out here. So it's like for me to even have cats that work with him work with me. Right. That's like wow. You know what I mean? That's like wow.
Big. Yeah.
I must be all right with what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to take it somewhere to where it can be music that they've been missing. I'm trying to put something out there. It's a gap. You know what I mean? You got to think about it. You got Gerald Levert, he's gone. You got R. Kelly, he's gone. You got a lot of people, around my age limit, like the Nate Dogs that they actually put me and Nate Dogg in the same boat. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah, you around me a Nate Dogg. You got the Nate Dogg type of music. You got the Nate Dogg type of sound. So it's like, okay, if y'all want to put me there, let me go ahead and capitalize on it and take it to another level.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So you got to have a lane.
Yeah, it's missing.
You got to have that lane.
Right.
And I feel like I got the lane, and a lot of cats out there, they doing what they doing, but it's like that music back then, it had a different type of feel, and that feel is missing. So like with the Feel So Good record, I'm trying to bring back that cookout, that barbecue music, you know what I mean? Okay. That stuff that R. Kelly was doing, but I'm not doing it like R. Kelly. I'm doing it like me, you know what I mean? But
like
at the same time,
it's
yeah. There's different vibes that was going on back then that's missing. So who can put those vibes out? You don't know. Chris Brown been around a long time, and he's a youngster. Mm-hmm. So Trey Songz's a youngster, but they become grown men now. So where's the grown men music at? So we're listening to grown men music coming from these youngsters that, were shorties at a time when we was somewhat, grown men, being grown men at the time. So they're the grown men right now when it comes to the music industry. You still got Tank out there, but as far as with those that are grasping onto it, we need some more music from the elders.
Yes, that's true. That's true because it's not there, and it's a lane that needs to be filled. So I'm interested to see. I'm excited to see what you bring on this album. Because my birthday is November too. I'm the 1st of November, so that's our Scorpio month. So we gotta So I'm excited to see what you bring it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But I mean, I'm definitely excited about this journey I've been on because the reality is you don't know how far you can go with it. You don't know what tomorrow may bring. True. So I'm just sitting in the vibe right now, enjoying what's going on with it.
Do you have any other projects that's coming out from your team? Like anything else that's happening this year?
Well, I'm putting some things together as far as we're getting a new team, meaning young writers, young engineers, more artists, just to build it up. But I feel like with me, in order for me to do that, I have to go get the bag. Meaning, let me put myself up front and do all the things that I would do for another artist that I've done in the past for myself.
Right.
And then I can have that going for them. So when I do open the doors up for other artists and other, singers, writers, whatever, I want to make sure that they're taken care of and that that bag is there and that they don't have to walk through that door talking about I'm hungry.
Right. No, I get you.
You know, so I'm in the building process right now of doing something new, but I'm putting myself out there and I'm putting my company on my back, and I'm gonna get the bag and make sure that everybody around me is doing what they need to do successfully without, you know, having to worry about things. So you gotta have that, because I've been through that. You know, I've been through that part of it. So if I'm gonna put a company together, I gotta make sure there's some funding going on. So therefore, if I can be the one to get the bag, let me go ahead and do that first. And let me be the first one to actually do what I need to do, to where I can go ahead and, you know, let everything else trickle down to whoever else, you know, I'll bring aboard. But I'm definitely looking. I'm definitely, you know, searching for the next. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get you.
You know? Yeah.
No,
so,
cool.
You know, I'm definitely gonna tap into the youngsters and keep it going, because, you know, they are the future. But at the same time, they need a little guidance on how to go about it. So if I can guide that to make it work for me, and I'm hoping that, you know, whatever I do for me, it'll work for them. Got some fellas go to war for me, busting down, kicking in the doors for me, rising me. It's so good when you're spending that money and you know you're about to get it right back. It's so good when you're smoking